So the whole point of Talkaoke is kind of up to you to decide what you want to talk about. It could be absolutely anything. Has anyone got anything they'd like to get the ball rolling with? It doesn't have to be about genomics and biodata. It could be, what would you like to talk about?
Yeah, I can talk about many things. First of all, I want to compliment you that this is what you're doing here is so original and fun.
Oh, thanks.
And if you look at, and everybody shall come and join, because to learn from you, how do you make a business in London that connect to your soul and is inspiring and social. This is a very beautiful work that you're doing here.
Oh, thank you.
And maybe people can join us and come, and you teach them a little bit how to make a living from something that you enjoy. And this is, although many people enjoy the field of biology, but I would say it's very inspiring to see this work. By itself, it stands by itself as a very beautiful work.
Oh, thank you for saying that. But, it's made up as well by the people that come and sit down.
Absolutely.
And that includes you, so thanks for contributing so much. And obviously you were here yesterday. It was great to have you here. So in a way it's about the people, but you're absolutely right, it is a great job. I feel like I've got the best job in the world, but when I started I didn't know it was going to be a job. I have to say that.
Of course, because it's original, so you need to be a pioneer in what you're doing here, and this is you never know what it is, but you had an inspiration. And I can ask you, I have a book about like the entrepreneur journey, and in my podcast I've been interviewing people on how they start their own business, what was the inspiration, where it's starting from. So it will be nice to ask you a question like, where does the inspiration come for building something like that?
You know what, actually sometimes I think inspiration can come from a negative place as well, and for me it was about being very frustrated with I've been doing this 25 years, so this was before social media or anything, but I was frustrated with mass media, with television, especially TV talk shows, which I felt were not really conversations. So my response to that as an artist was I would make my own talk show that didn't have the problems that I saw in other talk shows.
I think in the US it's called the open TV. There is a community TV. So this is representing actually a community TV movement.
Come and have a seat on the table of chat. This is Talkaoke Pop-Up Talk Show. We have got Alon, we have got Rod, we have got, sorry, Alon?
Halloween Panda. That's my name today.
Okay, Panda, I can call you Panda. And have we got this person come and join us on Talkaoke Table 2 minutes? No, and I feel like this is going to be a slow grower anyway, but at the moment we're talking about entrepreneurship, we're talking about actually the entrepreneurship of this thing here. It's all about the passion. Come and join us, 2 minutes. Alon has said, sometimes if you just follow your passion, it becomes a thing, but you don't really. My question would be, in a way I feel fortunate that people started hiring me to do stuff, but how do you kind of turn, depends what your passion is, how do you turn that into a living, into a monetary thing? So let me just come to... hold that thought. But
so I think it kind of brings on an interesting question about people's relationship to work in general, because I think there's a I'm thinking about it a lot, because I think there's one way of being employed and doing your job as something that, okay, maybe I didn't necessarily like my job, but I do it because I need to do it. It's vaguely related to my interests, or not at all, but I just need it as means to an end, right? And there's this other thing, maybe a bit more entrepreneurial, where I've got my passion, okay, everyone's saying, oh, it's too hard, or whatever, or there's too many tax implications if you go freelance, whatever, but you're doing it anyway. And I think that requires a special kind of resilience, I think, from a person. And I think not everybody has that. I think people just do settle for just a mundane job, or a job that isn't fulfilling their potential, or they don't even want to know what their potential is. I don't want to sound like some kind of a crazy person, some kind of spiritual kind of you need to realize your potential, whatever, but people do settle for less because it's just easier, and I actually understand that.
Okay. Rod, we'll come to you in a second, Ellen.
Well, I was the only one of the four of us that isn't in some capacity an entrepreneur. I completely agree. I don't think I could ever set up my own kind of thing, even if I was really interested in it. I don't really know how. I think it would be stressful. I think it'd be hard to self-motivate.
Just go on a journey of fantasy with us. What would it be if you were setting up your own thing? What would it be?
Ooh,
Yeah, sorry, I'm just...
get the people in.
Come, yeah.
I don't know. I think that I've sort of been in this uni pipeline, and I've been very interested in research my whole life.
Yeah.
But definitely there are parts of the uni system that I don't like. I've heard people say that academia is like a pyramid scheme before. It kind of pushes you up or out. There's not enough jobs for the people.
Yeah.
It's bad pay, bad hours. And there are some companies that are trying to take a sort of academic approach, but with, without some of the downsides. But again, I don't really have the specialist knowledge, I think, I wouldn't really know how to do that necessarily.
Okay, let's go back to Alan.
I will play with the idea. I will tell you. I refer to both of my colleagues here answer. I see it like that. It's like we are a social animal, and there is a natural progress for entrepreneurship that is actually. It's actually like a natural progress. The natural progress is not like the thing first.
Yeah.
You don't need to think on the thing. You need to see it starts with inspiration, capturing the inspiration, and this is the artist work. So whatever inspiration it is, whatever connect to you, the artist and the work of the artist will know to take an inspiration into an expression. First stage. It doesn't matter what it is. People making the absurd things. It doesn't matter. You look so many businesses. Everything is a business. Everything. So the next step is about changing perspective into team. So who it with? So don't think.
Alan, come and have a seat on the table of chat. This is 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We have got Alan, we've got Rod, we have got Margot. Hang on a sec. Let's just get your name.
My name is Christella Matoko, and I'm from Genomics England.
Can I call you Chris? Is that all right?
Chris is absolutely fine.
At the moment, we're kind of talking. We're talking actually about entrepreneurship at the moment. Have you ever considered? Obviously, you're working for a big institution. Have you ever considered going out on your own and doing your own thing, setting up your own business?
Of course. I think in this day and age, it's always nice to have a little something on the side.
Yeah, a side hustle.
A little side hustle. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
My sister does a lot of. She does.
Yeah.
Vending machines.
Oh, really?
So she has a full-time job, and she puts vending machines in different locations.
Yeah.
That's her side hustle. She loves it.
Right.
Helps her out. So it's an amazing thing to do. If you've got the time, the opportunity, please go ahead and do it. It does help.
Okay, so you think a side hustle is a very good thing, but Alan was telling us the kind of path to he's actually written a book. What's it called again?
The Entrepreneur's Journey.
Yeah, the Entrepreneur's Journey.
8 steps from inspiration to global impact. And I'm also in genetics for a long time, and so I think the first step in like setting up a business in here, it will be with who you do it. Like how you make a team of people that you like to work with, and you together, you think together.
Yeah.
Let's say you have a small inspiration. Let's say it's a DNA sequencing business.
Yeah.
Let's say. For example, here for this, and the question is first who you do it with. It's not about the budget. It's not about it's about the team. So once you have a team, the team can build together a plan. To think on the thing to do from the first start, it's not about, because everything is very complex. As business is a set of complex mechanisms, and you cannot think. The human mind cannot come and think of it before.
So do you start off with the inspiration or the team? What comes first?
You start with the inspiration. And then you build a team. And then you build a system, and then you go to market.
Okay.
And I can go to the stages of each one of them.
Okay, well maybe later, because we've got a new face at the table, and it's good to hear this. But we have got Chris, we've got Alan, we've got Rod, we've got Margot. I'm Mikey. Tell us your name.
Qiang Hong Guan.
Qiang Hong.
Yeah, Qiang Hong Guan.
Qiang Hong. Can I shorten that to? Okay, so. Let's say one more time, just the first bit.
Qiang Hong Guan.
Qiang Hong.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about becoming entrepreneurs, and it starts with the inspiration. Do you have an inspiration?
For genomics.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I major in computer science at the undergraduate, and then I convert to genomics at master degree. So because I think genomics are interesting, I'm not sure why, but I just think that's interesting. So my interest is my impression.
Yeah. I mean, would you start your own business, or would you work for somebody else?
Pardon?
Would you start your own business or would you work for a big company?
I haven't.
Hang on a sec, come on, let me just introduce other people here. So this is Talkaoke's pop-up talk show. We have got, let me get this right, Tian Hong, we've got Margot, we've got Rod, we've got Alan, we've got Chris. Tell us your name.
Kritagya.
Chris. Okay, another Chris. Christasia.
Kritagya.
Kritagya.
Tagya.
Yeah. Maybe we'll stick with Chris and
Pranjan.
Yeah. Okay. And when we're talking about starting a business, Alan has said it starts with the inspiration, then you build a team around you, then you work out all the details later. But, what is that inspiration? What is that, would you start your own business or would you work for a bigger institution? Or, as Chris said, Chris, do a bit of both. Start, work a job, but have a side hustle. So these are some of the things we're talking about at the moment. I'm going to just let you pick up the pieces there, but Margot, you've got a point.
You just put a thought in my mind, which is about creating the team, and I think, what does it take to create a good team around you, in a way? Because I think, in my view, in my opinion, often when you start and you come to someone, they may be your friend and be like, listen, I've got this amazing business idea, it's going to work like this. Sometimes people will just jump into it and be like, yeah, that's amazing. But often they'll be like, okay, what's the commitment? What are you asking me? How much you paying? What is the fee? And then you really have to throw in your personality, your persistence, and that kind of thing. And I wonder whether personality, do people think their personality is important in the line of science and sitting there behind the research, in the labs? I mean, do you feel like your personality matters in a way, or
how important is personality, Chris?
I think it does. If you've ever read the book, I think it's called Our Iceberg is Melting, and it talks about different personalities within the workplace and how you need those personalities in order to get somewhere. Right. You need someone who is ambitious. You need someone who is deadline approved. You need someone who looks outside the box. You need someone that brings them back down to earth. You do need a team which
complementary personalities.
Yes, not always, because sometimes you need that friction to get somewhere.
Right.
And it's not always a yes person. Sometimes it is people who come together and they clash, but they're clashing on an aspect to make something better.
In a productive way. Okay.
So it's not always, you do need different personalities. You can't have someone that's just like you and expect everything to go swimmingly all the time.
Okay, so you actually need those contrary personalities to actually have the full business. Any thoughts on this side? Would you start your own business or would you be part of a team? Do you complement other people in your workplace?
I think just like she said, side business would be good, like a hobby or something, but first I'll work for some business first so that I get to know and learn things, how to do it, then I can start my own business.
Have you got a specialism or inspiration?
For me, no. No, I don't. I just look up to my parents, that's it.
Yeah.
No one else, I guess.
Okay, what about you? Have you got
For me, for now, I'm into the research thing. So I would definitely be part of a big research group.
Yeah.
So I have been into the oncology. So for me, my passion is oncology.
Yeah, it's all about oncology.
Yeah.
And trying to find some of the oncology, yes. Alan?
In my eyes, to inspiration is like the artistic part that you suddenly have an idea and you go with the idea, but it's best when you work in an organization.
Yeah.
When somebody works in Microsoft, in Google, and you see a need, you suddenly understand it's something that the company needs.
Yeah.
This is like when you're starting with that and you see inspiration, something that you can actually solve and Google haven't solved that, or something is that Genomics England didn't solve, or so everybody is, as an employee, they sit in the right places to innovate and come with idea that actually is a huge idea, and to get with Yeah, and with this idea, you come and you tell people. First of all, you need to express it.
Yeah.
So you need to be smart who you tell it to. Let's say you can tell it to your parents, and they say, it's a bad idea. I don't know.
Well,
you need to be smart about encouraging people around you.
I mean, are parents? Are they the best people to tell your idea?
No, not
to?
necessarily, because they don't understand nothing in genomic in this. And you tell them, listen, I know how to in cancer. I know to do a specific thing. They will tell you, how you do this?
Yeah,
it's not possible.
Okay. So this is Talkaoke. It's a free-form talk show. At the moment, we're talking about entrepreneurship and innovation. We're talking about building the right team around you. Does it start with an idea, with a need? Alon says he's actually written a book about entrepreneurship called The Entrepreneur's Journey. But we wanted to get different perspectives. What is your inspiration? Do you want to work for a big team, a big business, or work for yourself? You want to work for yourself, so maybe you're in the right place, or is it about having a side hustle? And what is your passion? If you don't have a passion, where are you going to go? These are some of the questions. We have got Alon, we've got Chris, we've got, say your name, because I haven't had enough coffees yet for some of these names that are around the table.
Kritagya.
Yes, and
Pranjal.
What was it?
Pranjal.
Yes, and
Lemuel.
Yes.
Wow, that was a
bad
Skills, haven't you?
Samarina and Margot and Rod and Mikey. So has anyone got any perspectives on this? Any thoughts that anyone wanted to start their own business or had an inspiration or see a need that needs to be filled? It doesn't have to be in genetics, it could be anything. Chris's sister has got a side hustle running vending machines, but maybe we could compare maybe you can have genomic vending machines. That might be a future side hustle.
Money in, get a kit down. Yes. We like that idea.
Packaging and you send it off and it goes away and it comes back with all your results. It's going to be amazing. Easy access to genomics.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a fantastic idea. However, there's a danger of how it's interpreted and that whose hands it goes into. That's where the problems are, literally, and who would then be responsible, liable for feeding that information back. And then you've got to think about lawsuits, you've got to think about insurances, you've got to think, etc., etc.
Yeah, okay. Alon.
Yeah, I want to say to start with the problems. It's okay to start with the problem and all the things that prevent you to go for your idea.
Yeah.
But a genetic vending machine. Let's start with that. We see the Minion, the Mini Ion. It costs 1,000. It's 1,000 pounds. You get the device.
Yeah.
Now, after you get the device, I checked. Around the reagents that you need. We're talking about like another 1,000, 2,000. So for 3,000, you have a sequencing machine in your home.
Yeah.
Now. The services, so I think that because you can use 96 cells, so each cell, we're talking about every test is $10.
Yeah.
Now, the question if you can sell and you can actually gather people and make money on the $10.
And are they going to rock the machine to get the results for free?
Everybody here are expert in some kind of a specific genes. There are like genes that people need. I don't know, you see the BRCA gene, you see there are so many ideas in the genetics that you can go with and build some sequencing service, which is not so complicated today, and they are coming in their thousands.
So you think it's not such a bad idea?
Absolutely not. It's crazy.
But
it's very innovative.
There's a point as well that you say don't think about all the you're worried about insurance, lawsuits, all the problems. You're saying focus on the possibility.
Yeah, because in the first stage it will hold you back. Once you have a team around you, you can start and think on the problem. But first you make a team. Once you have a team, then you think about problems.
Okay, get the team. I'm going to come back to you in a second. But Margot, you've got a point.
I just want to say, there was a really great entrepreneur. Was Elizabeth Holmes? I think she was onto something. But it went wrong for her. Why? Why did it go wrong for her? What did she do wrong?
What happened to fake it till you make it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So.
Jail? She's in jail, or she's she's still in jail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
With $500 million in crypto.
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes it doesn't quite work, and sometimes you do need to see the downsides, the problems. If not the lawsuits, then the law itself. But, okay, is Elizabeth Holmes a good example? Are there better examples out there?
I don't know if it's such a bad example, because you see that she now making more money than most of the people here from jail. Even she write a book, even she write an article, anything that she will do, she monetize much better than most of the people on this conference.
Okay.
So I don't know if she's in such a bad situation.
Yeah. What does Genomics England think about that?
Oh no, I can't comment on that on Genomics England at all. No
way. What does Chris think about this?
I will not comment on that now. Definitely not.
No comment. Okay. What do you think about that personally? Not as a representative of Genomics England, but just as yourself. Any thoughts?
I think stick by the law always.
Yeah.
Don't do anything that would jeopardize that.
Yeah.
And
the law is important to stay within the law.
It's important to stay. You stay within the law.
Yeah. Okay. Lemuel, have you got any thoughts on this? Have you got an inspiration?
I did think about, with a group of individuals, starting up a carrier testing company in Canada.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of looked at all avenues we were inspired about it, because carrier testing is not necessarily, I wouldn't say achievable, but kind of downplayed because of our policies and rules and regulations have not caught up to that. A lot of individuals want to know the carrier status, right? But in some weird way, we already do, and we do report out clinically. Just by segregation within families. Right. So that kind of fell apart because, COVID didn't help. Plus, we all went our own separate ways, but we're still in touch. And I do agree about the rules, and I heard about legislation and all that stuff.
But does it start with the inspiration? Do you think in the future you might have, in a way, was the idea too soon?
I think but at the same time, I'm happy with what I'm doing. And right now it's maybe as a side hustle later on, sure, maybe. But right now I'm just enjoying actually hearing all the comments coming out here.
Well, you never know. Together we might create our own new business. I don't know what we need to come up with a name for it as well. I think we're clear on some things that it should be within the law. Rod, I'll come to you, but summary now. I think you had a comment earlier on. Was it gone now?
Oh, I had so many things to say. I think so. You've got to, going back to my point earlier on about who's going to interpret the data. It's very. Imagine if it's your mum who doesn't know, and the other question is, do the siblings want to know? And then the other factor is, how connected are individuals? The reason I say that is I've looked at a lot of data sets, even in Genomics England, for example, and it's quite interesting to see how there's a lot of singleton data, and it could be largely because people aren't even in touch with their extended families anymore. That's quite scary. It makes you wonder, and have to confess, ethnic minorities in particular do reach out, and they do keep in touch, and they're a bit nosy as well, aren't they? You know, they get to know, and I think it's that sort of data, the power of the data, but then also not to over-interpret it as well here. So your question about the side hustles, absolutely necessary, because otherwise you're fulfilling somebody else's dream all the time. But then also it's the gaps that you don't necessarily want to be achieving the targets of the large pharma or somebody else's goals. It's where you're going to fill the gaps, and that's where small groups need to come together.
Okay, we've got a new face at the table. Tell us your name.
Hello, my name is Chatika Surya, and where am I?
You are at Talkaoke. Was it Chatika?
Yes, I was just walking by.
Yeah, you're here. We'll give you a round of applause. I've been very, very lax on the round of applause button. This is Talkaoke Pop-Up Talk Show. It's a free-form talk show. You can talk about absolutely anything you want, and you can take it in any direction you want to take it. We started off talking about entrepreneurship, and it starts... Alon over here has written a book, The Entrepreneur's Journey, but in a way it's all about following your inspiration and actually, as you were saying, doing what you want to do rather than working, donating your talents to a big company or a large institution. But according to Alon, it starts with inspiration, and then it's about building a team around you. And we were just thinking about a few different ideas, like genetic vending machine. I'm not quite sure what it's vending, but I feel like there's possibly an idea here as a kind of almost like family reunited service based on genetics as well. That's another possibility. Hang on a sec, Chris. You've been vital. You've been key to this. So give us a final thought before you go.
Final thoughts. Go for your dreams.
Yeah.
Work hard. Just live a good life.
What is your dream?
My dream?
Yeah.
My dream is to be able to help others achieve their dreams.
Okay, so you're almost an enabler.
I like to make things happen.
Yeah, so you're making other people... Yeah.
I like to help people achieve what they want to achieve.
Okay, well, possibly that might be if you can get together with your sister, it could be a genetic vending machine. It could be... We're forming businesses left, right and centre here. Maybe we can go round again. I didn't really completely understand what your business was, but it actually was a business, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was for carrier testing. So it's just a genetic service, basically. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I was going to give it to Rod because you had your hand up, and then back to Alon.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk a bit about. We're talking about side hustles. Seems like being an entrepreneur is maybe this like high risk, high reward way to do something you love, but a side hustle is sort of a way to play it safe.
Yeah.
But when do what if your side hustle fails because you're not giving it the time and the attention that it needs? When do you know when to commit? When to just go hard and take that risk? That's what I want to know.
How persistent do you need to be when you give up the side hustle, or when do you
make it the main hustle?
Yeah, make it your main hustle. Alan?
Yeah, I like to comment that you say that follow your heart, follow your passion. But let's distinguish between an artist and an entrepreneur. Where's the line between an artist and entrepreneur? So an artist is go with an inspiration and bring it to the world, express it, and it need to be controversial. You need to do something unique. Entrepreneur, there is a little bit. You need to take there is a risk in entrepreneurship. You need to take the salaries of the people involved, the team involved, the marketing budget, there is investment, there is things are on the stake. It's not exactly the same as a artist, although the cycle of the thing that you do is the same. But so the entrepreneurship doesn't start with inspiration. It starts when you work in somewhere. You work in a big organization, and you're exposed to something that the company you're working in didn't solve, and you understand something that nobody else understands, and you already know that there are demand of 5 million people that need your thing because you work already in a big operation and you are on top of it. You already know that this thing is needed for the world. So it started when you work somewhere, and then you have the inspiration that this is something the world actually needs.
So in a way, you need the day job first to be the entrepreneur.
Yeah, and when you have the day job and you know that this is something the world needs, and you say to the investor, hey, I come now from Illumina, and I am the ta-ta-ta, and I am ta-na-na-na, then they say, okay, maybe we invest with you. It sounds very interesting idea. So the risk is actually, you need to minimize the risk, but actually coming with an idea that the risk is more small than the art. We cannot go with an art now. If we're talking about making a big impact here.
Okay, so it's a bit different between a kind of artistic thing such as Talkaoke and a more entrepreneurial thing, although we do have a team.
I think maybe we just need a team that's got that kind of business mindset.
Okay, do we need the business mindset? I mean, what do other people think? Where are these needs that we need to fill? Any views on this so far? Can you see a needs?
I'm still a little bit unsure what I'm doing here, but let's be honest. I don't have anything to speak to the specific question that you're asking, but there was something somebody said. I forget who. Someone said something about finding your passion. It just reminded me of this TED Talk I haven't watched, but I've seen a clip of. Or there was a chap who said, we teach our children, and this is something I can relate to, perhaps not everyone. We teach our children perhaps the wrong thing. We teach our kids to find their passion. But in fact, maybe what you should teach them is to find what they're good at.
Right.
And once you find what you're good at, and you get better at it, the intrinsic motivation, the passion, it evolves. The passion, at least for me, the passion or the motivation, it evolves from being good at something.
Okay.
In and of itself.
What are you good at?
Not very much. So that's
well,
a separate.
You're good at speaking, that's for sure.
And I kind of believe that. I don't think that it's necessarily, personally for me, wise to go looking for something that I am inspired by. Rather, I try to find what I can do something well or usefully or with skill, and then the process of improvement in and of itself is what pushes me.
What do people think about that? Should we go with what we're good at, what we're passionate about? If we're passionate about something really obscure, is that going to work? No.
I think we are a product of our experiences. Not everybody's had the exposure, so I may have a particular skill set or exposure to something simply because I was privileged enough to, and whereas somebody else who might be super smart, etc., better than I could even, but had never been given a chance to look at that. So yes, we're not all born with equal opportunities, which is another factor. But at the moment, one of the biggest crises is the funding cuts, right? So how do we tackle that when we've got here, everyone's got dreams, everybody wants to, so maybe mergers and acquisitions are a way forward.
Okay, is there enough money for people to actually live out their dreams? Should we be merging?
I mean, but I found what you said really interesting, because I think when you're good at something, then the motivation will come and then you want to keep at it. So we kind of planted an interesting seed in my mind. But I do wonder also about like the purpose of having, having a very profitable business model. I mean, so you're going to get loads of money. What, like, is this this is a bit fundamental, but like, is this the most important thing, or it is the most important thing? Because healthcare is going to go private to kind of survive. You're going to need money. So are we working towards getting more money and getting round in a capitalist system, or should we be working towards more equitable society?
Okay. Big questions here. Big questions. Hang on. Let me hit the. Okay. Give us a final thought.
About funding.
It could be anything. It could be about funding. It could be about this question about passion or what you're good at, or maybe those two things are the same for you.
I think I'm really in a phase right now that I really don't know where I stand, because it's really new to me, because I can't decide about PhD and industrial area. So I guess, just keep faith in God and just follow your dreams, even if you don't have any fundings or anything.
Okay. So maybe funding is important, maybe for doing a PhD.
Yeah, you need to have that.
Okay, final thought.
For me, just pursue the passion and be ethical.
Yes, okay, so the ethics are very important. It's not just about being within the law, but being within your own ethics as well. We spent a lot of time talking about ethics yesterday. Thanks very much. We'll give you a round of applause. Where do we go with this conversation? Do we want to talk about this question about education? Do we want to talk about this question of ethics, or about the health service? Chiquita, give us a final thought before you go.
I think
grab the mic,
I read somewhere, and I may be misquoting here, but I think the Swedish Social Democrats had an expression which was that, secure people dare.
Yeah.
So, if you don't have to worry about feeding your kids, or, your wife gets sick and you need health insurance, if you need to worry about those things, you're more likely to take risks, paradoxically. So a safety net facilitates risk-taking.
Is that a paradox, or is that just common sense? If you've got a safety net, you're going to take more risks, you're going to do more spins. What do people think about that? We've got a new face over here. Hello.
I'm not sure what the discussion topic is.
Well, we started off talking about... Come and join in. Yes, that's you, yes. 2 minutes. Give us 2 minutes. This is where it's at. This is where we're creating the new startups. This is where we're entrepreneurializing here. We have got Margot, we have got Rod, we have got Alon, we've got...
Tavishi.
Yeah. We have got Lemuel, and we have got Samarina. And Mikey, come and have a seat on the table of chat.
Sorry, I have to go.
Okay. No problem. We're here all day, so come back later. No problem. We'll be talking about something different for sure. But at the moment we're talking about entrepreneurship, we're talking about following your dreams, we're talking about have we got our society set up right for people to explore and innovate, or are there too many risks? Is it better when there's a safety net like in Sweden? These are all it's up to you where you want to take this conversation. My job is simply to give you the options. Where do you want to take this conversation?
I don't know. I'm just relaxing right now.
Okay, that's good. Well, that's good that you're feeling relaxed.
I don't think we should have limitations at all. So and there are several of them, and I think we need to cross borders, cross everything we need to do, whether it's transatlantic, you name it, everything. And we need to be working with everyone from every ethnic background, minority, and maybe tap into each other's resources the best we can do.
Okay, so maybe we need to more kind of, especially in these days.
So what if I were to pose?
Grab the mic, Lemmy.
Oh yeah, I think everybody wants to achieve collaboration, right? Harmonization, if not standardization. But what are the barriers that prevent this? We've been talking about this for a long time, and yet we see siloed sites everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, even though we're at the Festival of Genomics, that we're coming across that here. The people, you've got different groups of people here that don't always talk to each other. It's part of the reason why we've got Talkaoke going on. But what are these barriers to collaboration? How do we get these diverse groups to join together?
In terms of research, I think one of the barriers is that of sharing data on an international level. I think because of the genomic data size, we don't have a well-established platform that allows researchers across different countries to access stuff. And I also think that there's no set level of standards as to what is a good quality sample in this country, that country. So there has to be harmonization. But then again, in different countries, there might be different issues with, say, animal models and stuff that can be guided by either some political agenda or religious agenda. So I think that's too many variations to account for to have a universally set standard. So I think data sharing is one of the big issues.
I mean, is standardization the way? Is there something to be gained from that diversity across countries?
Definitely, but I think my first point was about sharing data, and we're not quite there yet because it's too large.
Okay, I'm going to do the... Yes, Alain?
I will continue with the theme of collaboration. So in my eyes, for entrepreneurship, the basic is collaboration. So once you have a team, it doesn't matter the idea. Let's leave the inspiration. It doesn't matter the idea. It matters the collaboration. You make a team. First, you make a team. The more diverse the team from more countries, and they are working together, the more you're going to, it will be better. This is like cross-functional team. So you start with a team. You don't start with the idea. The idea will come. You will find the idea. You'll find something to work on. But if you really make a team that you are committed in the team to work together and do something in genetics, it doesn't matter what it is. Once you have a team and it's solid and cannot break, so the breaking of the team is the actual barrier, not the idea and not the funding. The funding is only for holding a team, but you need to make a team that hold. So if you get money, it's making the team hold. If you get an idea, even better, making the team hold. It's all about the team. You make a cross-functional team between countries, between people, stick it together, that doesn't break. That's the goal.
Okay. Is that really possible with to have this kind of global team without even an idea? I'm going to come...
That was my question. I mean, if you don't have a hypothesis or an idea to begin with, what would be the driving, why would someone want to invest? How would you get the money? Because the investors aren't going to invest in the people, but I think rather the idea. So how would you make sure that that is achieved?
Okay, hang on a sec, Alan. We've got a new face at the table. So we've got Lemuel, we've got Samarina, we've got Margot, we've got Rod, we've got Alan. What's it again?
Tavishi.
I'm Mikey. What's your name?
Daniel.
And we started off talking about entrepreneurship, but now we're talking about cross-border collaboration, global teams. How do you glue a team together? Alon says it's just about that team kind of having some kind of, I don't know, common purpose or something. Tavishi, you're saying it could be more about the idea, you need an idea, but we're talking really about collaboration, really, I suppose, in an ideal sense. How do we get these how do we collaborate with each other more?
So if we get to that ideal situation of pure collaboration, creating the ideal team, coming up with ideas, do you think standardization across, say, countries prevents or hinders innovation?
Does that stand? Because one of the issues about cross-border collaboration is the fact that none of the practices or the data, anything is standardized. So you've got different models in different countries, you've got different ways of getting that data. Samarina?
So the world we live in today is data-driven, and it should be data-driven. So largely, I think your collaborators, whoever you are, must have something concrete in place about the FAIR principles, which are findable, accessible, interoperable, and reproducible, right?
I didn't know that one before, but there we go. FAIR principles.
Do I get a prize for that?
That's all you get, basically. Yeah, round of applause. Yes, there we go.
If you go home with anything today, it's FAIR data.
Yeah. Okay. So that in a way is the beginning of a kind of, I suppose, a standardization. Yep.
But I do wonder whether she's gone now. But Chris was saying about she's not there. Don't look there. She's just not there.
She's gone. She's definitely gone.
She used to be there, but she's not there anymore.
Yeah.
No, but she was talking about different styles of working or like different personalities. She referenced the book, and I do wonder whether we are prepared to work with people who think differently, do things differently, and also come from different backgrounds and countries. Because, for instance, I was talking to a Polish scientist earlier, and he said when he started his journey, he was earning so little money. He had a lot of enthusiasm, but he was just so dirt poor, and then slowly so his way of working was like almost different to his colleagues in different Western countries who had plenty of money by comparison, and they had maybe slightly different working ethics or processes. And I do wonder whether we should standardize and also equalize and bring even wages across the science world globally in order to enable real tangible collaboration.
So it's not just about standardization of data, it's standardization of wages as well. But what about this thing that is it so easy to work with different personalities, different cultures from around the world? If you've got a disruptor, people are always going on about disruptors, they can be annoying as well. So that's a point there, Alan.
I will. From my perspective, it's about the collaboration. Now, any thoughts that hinder the collaboration is already a minus, yes? So if you think like, okay, it's across countries, so it's across borders, and this only thoughts that hinders the collaboration. Because, for example, if you look at tax, you see the tax lawyer, if they're going to say, we international tax lawyer, and we specialize the international collaboration of tax, it will be always better than you go for a silos of so I think the more global, the world is becoming more global and global. Most of the countries and most of the companies are becoming international companies, especially in science. And we're talking about setting up a global tax, a global this, a global this, a global this. So I think the regulation, so the more you are diverse in the team from different countries, is just beneficial. Now, and this is just to answer the thought, is this hindering? So, because I think any thought will be hindering. The first principle is you make a team.
Yeah.
If something is hindering the creation of the team, it's just a thought that is not appropriate. If it's a personality, not compatible personality, hindering the team. So, and I can give example from my past how we start a enterprise. So we just decide, hey, I want to work with him or with her. We want to work together. So the first thought is I want to work together with this person.
So in a way, it's a kind of attraction. It's a kind of personality attraction.
It's if we think on animals, I don't think the ants think together. Okay, let's build a nest. It's not. or any animal. But you think they have a purpose before? I don't think they have a purpose before. It's they think they work together because they work together.
Yeah.
They don't have a purpose or thought that we need to. I don't know, a fish pack. Give me example of animals that work in a group.
Yeah.
Any animal. It's not so. Entrepreneurship and creation of things and joining in a team is not a thought.
Particularly entrepreneurial. It's only really humans that are entrepreneurial, isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
To move a piece of egg from the ant nest together outside. It's entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about first having a team and then finding a purpose to work towards, would it not be more efficient to have a hypothesis or an idea and then recruit accordingly the best suited people for that job? Do you think that this would be a more efficient approach? So does that contradict what you're saying?
No.
Apparently it doesn't. Okay.
Please help me understand.
I help you understand. So there are 4 perspectives that, as an entrepreneur, you need to come with 4 perspectives. So one perspective is your internal self. Yeah. So your idea is an expression of the idea. This is you do by yourself. This is you have to do that. The second is the team. You build a team. And this is perspective by itself, how you build a team. Then you have a system. So how we engineer something, this is already when you create something. How we engineer something to the world. Your mind need to be there. And there is another perspective, it's how we get it to the customer. So how we do, what is the world, what the world wants. And they all integrate together, but all the time you have a shift in perspective. You need to think like yourself, so the self and the internal thought, the expression of them, you put yourself in the shoes of the team, you put yourself in the shoes of the system, and you put yourself in the shoes of the user.
Okay.
All the time, this perspective have to run all the time. One of them missing, you're not feeling the cycle.
Okay. All right. So it's a bit of everything. I'm going to sum that one up as. But come and join us. We're talking about international collaboration. Is it possible? What are the barriers to international collaboration? We started off talking about entrepreneurship. So these are some of the things, but I think now we're talking more about collaboration internationally. We've got Daniel, we've got Lemuel, we've got Samarina, we've got Margot, we've got Rod, we've got Alon, we've got Tavishi.
Third time.
Nice.
Yes.
You can call me Tavi if that's easier.
No, well now I know now.
Okay.
And who have we got here?
I'm Cheyenne.
Shia.
Yes.
And I'm Mikey, and I said Daniel, yes I did. So it's kind of actually where you want to take this conversation as well. In a way we're talking about collaboration. Is it about forming a team around you? I'm sort of thinking as well of like a kind of, what we see in movies, there's always like a team of, like in Marvel you've got a team. Are they different people? They've obviously got different superpowers, but does your team need to be different? Does it need to be thinking in the same way? Is international better? Is it more difficult? These are all the questions that we're talking about at the moment. Obviously, you've just arrived, so you may not have anything to say at this point, but just chip in at any time. Daniel, you've been listening for a while. Yeah, go on.
So is a team where the people come from multiple places, but they work in one geographic location, is that considered an international team?
Okay. Well, what do you think? What would you say?
I think yes.
Yeah. Okay. So is it better to work in one place or work?
Yes.
In distributed way.
I think if you're working on something that requires a laboratory, then of course you need to work in one place. But I think even when it's just about an exchange of ideas, it's more fluid when people are in one place.
In the same space.
I think everyone has kind of A/B tested this during the COVID pandemic, whether they work better collaborating remotely or collaborating in person, and I think most people have come to the same conclusion.
That it's better to be in the same place.
I would think.
Okay. Does everyone agree with that? Yes, it seems to be. Yeah.
I just arrived. I think I'm a bit lost. So the main point of conversation here is to assessing how international collaboration will benefit of what?
No, we've just been, it's more of a flow of conversation, so there's not really any
I'm personally really interested in collaboration because definitely you can learn anything from someone, so anyone is in specialized in somewhere, so collaboration, reduced error and increased time, time benefits. I believe in collaboration.
Yeah.
Personally, I will definitely use outsourcing and because I definitely know I can learn from others.
Yeah.
I would love to participate.
What for you the benefits of collaboration are about saving time and about error?
Learning and using and benefiting from knowledge of the others.
Okay.
From other professions.
Yeah. I mean, do you think a truly global collaboration is the best way forward?
Any kind, globally it's a bit harder, maybe to regulate, to set the responsibilities maybe, but I prefer locally in one country. But anyway, sometimes it works best if you do it internationally.
Okay, so
I think I love to hear, because we're here collaborating, I think that because we are everybody in genetics, I would love to hear what everybody is strengths. So let's say we all collaborate now. Which one of you, and I'm sure each one have different talents, what you put on the table regarding the talent in genetics. This will be the most interesting conversation for me to have.
Yeah, okay, so
those participants here, and what do you feel? And if it's vague, even it's vague for you, it's also fine. Because we might find from you something that you haven't seen. Because you work in such a special place that you don't appreciate where actually you are and what you can do. But some of the people here are working in very, very unique places in specific roles that nobody on earth is working in the same roles on genetics and what people are doing, and they're coming here to the table. So I like to hear what they do.
So what you're saying, Alan, it's a kind of thought experiment where we're all going to collaborate together on a project. What is that project? Is it the genetic vending machine? Is it something? What is the project we're all going to be working on?
I don't want to be in the position of the entrepreneur here to bring the vision, but I in the end I will see what is the genetic idea that humanity and or animal we can choose or Earth can benefit the most from our collaboration.
Okay, so just a little thought experiment. If you're up for it, people around the table, what are you going to bring to the table?
It depends. I think it depends on skills everyone has.
Well, what skills do you have? What can you bring to the table?
I'm still too young, but I have lab experience and maybe critically thinking. But I think my main skill is I'm keen to learning. I love learning from others, and I know that there's loads of stuff that I have to learn, and I need to learn.
Okay, so learning ability, critical thinking skills.
And I'm keen to learn. So
I'm going to go around.
So I'm in the same place as Cheyenne. I'm still starting out and stuff, but in a more practical sense, I do have some laboratory experience, so I could help with that. And as a part-time job, I've taken up many videography roles, so I could always help with marketing our stuff, making cool videos and selling it to people and stuff.
Communications.
Yeah, that's something I could contribute to.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go around. I'm going to come to you in a second, because I want to know what you're going to bring to this as well.
Oh, I just want
but Daniel?
So I'm also very early in my career, but I think I have a decent amount of experience with bioinformatics, both in humans and for animals as well.
Okay, so we've got the animals covered. Any particular animals?
No, just multicellular eukaryotes in general.
All right. Okay. What are you going to bring to the table, Lem?
I'm a clinical geneticist, so I report out, I sign out results, but I do have extensive lab experience as well. Before becoming a clinical geneticist, I was a research technician, and I ran a lab, a lab manager. So if I were to boil everything down in terms of what I'm really good at is networking.
Okay, so networking, that's probably why you're here, but okay, so we're starting to get a team together. I feel like a bit like the A-team here. Like I'm the George Peppard character. What have I got to bring to the table? I'm the facilitator. I'm gluing it all together. Also, a bit of sense of humour and fun, because we want our team to have fun. We don't want them just to be boring, staring down a microscope, or looking at code all day. We want people to have a little bit of fun. So I'm going to bring that too, a bit of fun to the whole operation. But what about you? I'm turning the mic on you. What are you bringing?
I am a systems biologist. I'm a mathematical modeler, and I have analysed ample omics data coming from metabolomics, transcriptomics, proteomics, you name it, etc. Exactly. And I am the biggest critique, because I don't believe collecting lots and lots of stamps is going to help you with anything if you haven't got the questions right.
Right. Okay.
So you need to be coming up with the questions, hypotheses, predictions. As she's rightly said, and you really need to simulate your data to trust it before you take that drug as well. So anything that's already in practice at the moment, the pharma companies have sold you something and you bought it at the time, but why? So you need to be questioning that. So I think to the table I should be bringing question everything. So
you're the critical voice.
Yes.
Okay. What are you bringing to the table, Rod?
Well, look, I'm not a geneticist in the slightest, so I'd be amazed if I got hired.
Well, you are hired, because you're around the table.
I'm hired already. This is perfect.
You're hired.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, I think that's a plus in this room.
I've just come from studying neuroscience, so if I've done a bit of modelling, I've done a bit of coding, a bit of dry lab stuff. I did also help assemble this table, so I do think I should get a share of the profits for sort of bringing us all together. Though I think I'd like to be a bit of a stakeholder. No, I don't know.
You're a kind of owner as well.
Yes, definitely. Proprietor. You know, sort of maybe an investor.
Okay, owner and investor as well. Okay. Alan, what are you going to bring to this team?
I'm not really clear. I'm like a kind of entrepreneur, and I can tell about myself. I started 20 years ago in genetics. I started by making a glowing plant. This is my first project was glowing plant, and it was glowingplant.com. And I thought this was while I was doing my BA in Israel. I'm Israeli. With the years. And before that, I started a software company and invested by Apple, and this was 25 years ago. I look young, but I have a lot of experience. My biological age is not so. It's pretty
maybe
low.
You could bring that the secret of eternal youth.
I can talk about that as well, because we can, if we do the epigenetics, there are certain regions that we can actually take and measure biological age. So we have the bioinformaticians here, and we have the wet biology. So easily we can do a biological age test. So because we have, for example, I just flow with with your saying. I'm improvising. So the hover.
So you can bring that sense of improvisation.
We can implement a hover clock, for example. So we do methylation and we do the different region, and we do biological age, and we have all the teams that need it. So what we need the mini ion for 1,000 pounds, and so we have like 96 runs we can do with the mini ion. So we can do actually now. Probably within 2 hours, if we get the machine, we can already test 96 people in this room. And I don't know if you have your laptops here, but I guess we can also do all the epigenetics and
Is
analysis.
that where you want to take the team?
So in 2 hours, basically, this team that sits on the table can bring something to the world. So I'm saying the people that running around here, that walking around, are very strong. So we need to understand. Like this collaboration, we can do something. We can actually do stuff.
I mean, maybe this is an idea. This is an idea for. It's actually something that we wanted to do before. Is to do a kind of mini collaboration during the festival, like a kind of hack.
Like a workshop.
Like a kind of biohack workshop.
Biohack workshop.
So we just something actually we were talking to the people about doing, but I don't have the skills.
I have to say that here in London, doing stuff like that, you have the open lab. It's somewhere in. I don't know if you guys are from London, but this is somewhere in. I forgot the name.
We'll Google it. There is an
next
open
to
lab
Wembley, somewhere in Wembley. There's an open lab that you can actually use, and you have like the PCR machine.
Are you talking about the Hackspace?
Hackspace.
Yes.
I know it. Yes. So the Hackspace. So I went there, and I made the first COVID vaccine. I made myself a COVID vaccine. Me and my wife, because I got from Church. So I have a relation to some Harvard, and they made the peptides. So Church announced an open source vaccine.
And did you use it?
Yeah. I didn't inject it. Sniffing. You sniff it. So you sniff the peptides. I didn't get COVID.
Okay.
I don't know some anti-aging stuff.
I mean, where do we want to go with this? What do you think about the idea of maybe for next Festival of Genomics having a kind of biohack lab or something like that? Would you join in? How would it work? Any thoughts on that one?
I studied cell and gene therapy. I'm a master's student, so I'm mainly focusing on learning gene editing skills. So
hang on, sorry, Daniel, we want a final thought from you before you go. You must have something. You must be thinking something. You're not thinking anything. Okay, fair enough. Sorry, Shana.
I forgot what I was saying.
Was you saying that as a master's?
I'm trying to learn gene editing skills. So you said you're interested in growing plants. Like, have you considered modifying them genetically?
Glowing.
Oh my God! I just read something about glowing fish. Have you heard about them? They're like yellow fluorescent fish. They're selling in US. We should talk. We should have a talk after this conversation.
All right, so we're on to the. We've got some products on the market. They're all animal products.
That would be super.
Maybe we could monitor,
money wise.
Get a different species glowing by the end of this.
I think
every year we could do a different one at the Festival of Genomics. Let's just not think about fish and plants, but it could be something else. It could be a glowing human.
Yeah.
Okay.
Glowing human. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I'm all in favor of the biohack live because I usually attend AGBT in the U.S.
What is AGBT?
So advances in genome biology technology, and I think they've attempted, if not, they've done it through the proton back in the day. And they just took a sample out of the seawater and they were sequencing just whatever was in it.
Right.
So I would almost pose, like going with Alan's thought, is the before and after in terms of consumption of alcohol in terms of the methylome, if you wanted to even do that.
Right. Okay.
As a biohack, or people coming in from different places.
Okay. So you could have some kind of alcohol-based. What is this? The methylome. What is that? Is that like the epigenetic?
Yeah, the epigenetics of it, or if you wanted to sequence specific enzymes that individuals have.
Do some drink-based changes, Rod?
Yeah, I just wanted to sort of play Philistine for a bit and ask, like, what is a biohack? What are we actually talking about here? I don't know. I haven't come across.
Okay, and what would you, using your imagination, what would you think it would be?
Something where you can go and probably do some genetic testing, and they can give you some info about your genome. I don't really know.
Okay. What is a biohack, Tavishi?
What came to my mind was like, you know how computer scientists have a hackathon? So they're given a problem and divide it into different teams, then they work toward the solution. So I thought that a biohack is like a biohackathon, where you have a problem and different teams come up with different approaches. Then it could be like a mini competition right here.
Yeah,
and
I think
we
it
could
would
have
be
a winner.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. And the winner gets to be on this talk show.
Well, everyone gets to be on this talk show, but maybe we could give them more mic time or something like that. I'm sure we could come up with a prize for the biohack. Give us a final thought, Tavishi, or was that your final thought?
That was my final thought.
Okay.
Enjoy, have a productive discussion.
Are you committed to next year's Biohack Festival of Genomics 2024?
Of course, definitely. Okay. I wouldn't mind being one of the organizers.
Okay,
you're up for it.
Wow, okay. Well, definitely, we're going to track you down. Things said on this table, they stay on this table, but we remember this particular thing because it sounds like a really good idea, and it sounds like something we could get going. It looks like everyone, now that you've gone, Tavishi, no one else is interested in staying. Send your friends back. We're here all day, so but let's get some other final thoughts.
Take a break too.
I'm going to take a break. I'm going to have more coffees. I need it with all the ideas coming through this way. But we want a final thought from you.
Oh, too many. Pursue your passion. Don't be afraid to speak what you think. Try and network and get your voice heard. By those who are dictators, making the decisions in particular, because they are obviously doing it because it suits their agenda, not necessarily your agenda.
I know you're wanting to go, but do you think there's too few decision makers really, and the power and the kind of green lights are in the hands of too few people?
That's right, and the beauty of science and particularly academia was supposed to be to enable freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom of etc. But even that is being, without prejudice to anybody, of course. So you might want to do a particular thing in a particular area, and you cannot execute that because funding cuts, or no, it doesn't match our agenda, it doesn't match our remit, or etc. and then those projects will be banked, etc. But yes, do reach out. My name is Sarina Rehman. If you wish to connect via LinkedIn, by all means do so, and I'd be very happy to support your next biohackathon.
Okay, well we've got a team together. We talked about getting a team together. We've got our biohackathon development team. Thanks so much. I'm going to give you a round of applause.
What do I get?
Tavishi never got one. She just left too quickly. Let me on.
Yeah, I was going to add on to her comment, and I think genetics as a whole and the data that we accumulate from that it's a commodity, and once it's a commodity, you have governments in place, and that's part of, you can still bring all the experts in the field, but at the same time there's the higher level in terms of the stakeholders that dictate policy. So now, because genetics data has become a commodity,
now you gotta now include those individuals, and that's why I don't know if we could ever have a true international. You can still have international collaboration based on the lower level, which is like us, but then you still have
when it comes to the mega projects,
exactly.
There's this big kind of, it becomes commodified. It becomes a property of the state almost, or a large institution, and they're the ones, I guess, in control of that. Okay.
So it's a really interesting space, and we're kind of you'll see it too. A lot of people are calling it like the dark genome, so it's been fun. It's not so dark either. You can just play that whenever I walk by.
We will from now on. Okay, any questions about this or any? Yep. Yeah.
So it's a very situational question. For example, you find a druggable target, but it counters with the epigenetics of the disease. For example, if you target that molecule, then it would alter something that would also initiate the disease. That does happen in a lot of diseases, I've known that. So how do you counter that?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually, and it's not something we have really encountered. So I'd love to talk to you about that. It would be great to connect to you on that, because it's not something we've really kind of discovered or talked about yet. So that would be great to talk about with you.
Okay, well, maybe there's some chat for the break, but let's just get some final thoughts. I want a final thought from you as well, Isaac. Final thoughts for
I enjoy the conversation. I have to say that I often I don't know if it's like we can put. I want to put the subject of nations,
Hang on, just because you're like a regular now, so I'm just going to prioritize Isaac for the final thought.
Well, essentially, thank you for explaining the technology. I hope to see it do what you'd like it to do. Nice to meet you all very briefly. I've got to run for now, but thank you. It's a great idea to talk to you.
Thank you. As I said, we'll be here all day. Let's get some final thoughts.
I just want to say that it's interesting to see the different nations and the way they express themselves.
Yeah.
And it's very this is very American. So I enjoy. I really enjoy when you put. No, it's a big compliment. It's a big compliment. I really enjoy sometimes you have topics and you have in different industries, then the American come. So all the time there is upgrade of the level of the brain. Always there is something a little bit better, I must say. Why? It's somehow the combination feminine and masculine, they organize themselves in the culture much better. I don't know, because that's the dominant country.
Okay, well that's a big statement.
But I say it's always the level of I enjoy all the time the perspective, US perspective on things. You zoom out and you say, no, but this is a goal. I don't know, there is something about that they, and I see it in different industry and different topics. The American come with the attitude of the American and bring it to levels. It's this is, I enjoy this.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a big question we can talk about in the next session. Final thought, Cheyenne?
Maybe not a final thought, a final comment. I love this this festival, and I love this brainstorming talks and talking to the new people. Thank you for organizing it.
Okay, well, as I said, come back later. We're here all day. We're going to come back at 1. Final thought?
Thank you guys for listening about my technology. I really appreciate it, and it's really great to hear perspectives. I love your idea too on how we all come from different places and the way our ideas work, and it's so important to share. So thanks for letting me be part of it.
Okay, well, as I said, we're back again later on. I mean, I like this idea that we touched on it in this session a bit early on when you were here, but other people weren't here, about different cultures, bringing different perspectives and bringing different values, and how that diversity of perspective can actually add something to a collaboration. But maybe we can touch on that again. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, no.
Final thoughts?
We haven't heard enough to give final thoughts.
No.
I need to know more.
No, well, that could be a final thought in itself.
Yeah, so I need to know more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, final thoughts?
I like the idea of starting something up here now, a live collaboration. And I do love the word hack, because it makes, the scientists a bit more naughty. And I like that. A bit whoa, what are they hacking exactly?
So next year we're going to run the biohack. We're going to just, we're going to, in 2 days, we're going to create a new product, a new solution, a new universe maybe from.
But I just want to say that at 1 o'clock we're going to be starting back up with genomics of IQ, and then at 2 o'clock we're going to be talking about ethics of newborn screening and sequencing.
Okay.
And then at 3 o'clock, opportunities for genomics to shape the future of healthcare. So
and I just want to say, on Talkaoke, we don't always stay on the subject, so we might just go off on a tangent, on a big tangent. Yeah, we might go off on a big tangent depending on what the vibe is. But thanks everyone. Let's have a round of applause for everybody, and we will see you back at 1 o'clock. Thanks very much.